It's a beautiful thing. Well, hey, welcome. It is another Hot Topic Tuesday. It is July 15th. We are definitely past middle of the year, so hopefully we're all where we want to be, where we should be for our goals for the year. Today's topic is kind of interesting, and here's what we all know. We do one of two things. We're either active or we're actively passive. And active is we're going to the business. Being actively passive is waiting for the business to come to us, but we're doing the things to be able to make that happen. Well, obviously, open houses is a key, actively passive thing that we can do to be able to build business. And I want to hit it very quickly. Many of you have heard of Mike Ferry, right? I see heads nodding. And so guys, if you know Mike Ferry, you know that Mike Ferry said that open houses are a waste of time. And we're going to dispel that rumor today. Now, let me at least say, I don't want to discredit Mike Ferry by any means. The guy's awesome. And boys, he made a difference in thousands and thousands of agents' lives. But Mike Ferry was talking about agents who are doing 50, 75, 100 plus deals a year. If you're doing that, then using Mike's word, open houses were stupid. It doesn't make sense. You know, use that as your day off. However, most of us are looking for an easier way to do business. We're not into the active mode. We're not calling for sale by owners. We're not calling expireds. We're not actively producing. So absolutely the one best way, and I believe it should be in part of anybody who's doing, we'll say 20 deals or less, you should be doing at least a couple of open houses every month. But I brought these two in because there's some really interesting stories. So let me first, Sally Hendrix, you can kind of introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Sally Hendrix, real estate agent and part-time manager at the Clarkson office.
And
hi, I'm Tera Hayward, full-time agent, new with Century 21. It'll be a year next week.
oh wow,
So, yep.
Great time.
I've been doing this for almost 2 years.
So here's the reason I've got these two in here. We've got an outline. So have pen, have paper, take great notes, do this, and you will have great success. Now, when I say do this, beyond taking the notes, but do what you're going to learn today. So I want to take a little bit more because Sally, you've built a great deal of your business, and you and Stephen are going to do what last year and this year?
Last year we did just over 12 million. And this year we're at about 8 million so far.
And in that, I know from talking with the two of you all the time that open houses is a good percentage of that. You have an idea as to about how much of your business source is open houses?
I do. I just calculated exactly last year. 2024 was 35%.
Of how many million?
Sales. Well, just over 12.
So about a third of your business, 4 million plus, came because of open houses.
$4,175,000.
Just to be close. Okay. Well, and so here's the thing. I know Sally has been a proponent of this. I've always, really hit it, but we've never had, I'm going to say, the evidence that Stephen and Sally have produced because of it. So we want to hear what she's done to be able to make that happen. So then this young lady, we actually hit her up, and I think we told her last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they told me.
Yeah.
I was gonna be doing
We didn't
it.
ask.
Last week, Wednesday was, oh, by the way, Tera. So Tera, you were with another office, you came over
I did.
and you were doing open houses.
I just didn't know how to execute the follow-up. So I was meeting people and interacting and engaging with everybody. And I don't know if you remember this, but when I came over here, I had done an open house for Lauren and I made a video and posted on social media so everybody could see it. And I had a sheet of paper for people to sign in. And the first lesson I learned from Sally was like, what's going to happen to this paper? You're going to lose it. What are you going to do with this? So.
And yet a piece of paper is better than nothing at all.
I didn't know what, she's right. I was losing them and I was losing all the people I was meeting, having them sign in. First of all, is half the challenge. And then I was losing the paper. So.
Hold that thought for a bit,
Okay.
because the biggie is that there's I think many of you have heard me talk about this, and I received this from David Knox. If you ever heard of David as a national speaker, we need to be there. So if we're doing real estate business, it's important that we're there. And so doing open houses, and this is what you were at, you were there, you were doing the things,
showing up.
and yet you had some success, but not to the levels that you're experiencing now.
I didn't have any success with my open houses that I was doing with the
Ouch.
other company. I know. No
Ouch.
offense to anybody, but I just didn't know how to execute correctly and wasn't knowledgeable.
So here's the thing I want you to catch is that it was her coming over and getting the coaching in office
Yes.
from Sally that it was like, look, it's great that you're doing it, but we need to find out what's missing and what we need to do to drive the success. So that's the reason we've got Tera here, and I've got my notes, and we're going to go through this. So let's start out with this one basic thing. Why do we do open houses? And guys, if you participate, you can put it in the chat when I ask this question. You want to take yourself off hold, but here's the first question. Why do we do open houses? And I'm going to hold on these two. Why do we do it? To get buyers. I like that, Lisa. Thank you. To market a property. Absolutely. Give it exposure. Get it out there so that everybody can see it. Yeah, matter of fact, summer, I like that. I like that real well. To meet people and get in front of people. Tanisha, thank you. Sounds like you've worked with somebody who knows what they're doing. Guess who that was? Anyway, so yeah, guys, here's the reason we do open houses. And take the note. It's to, one, sell the house. I always believe that whatever house we're holding open, we owe that. We kicked them out of the house. Go to sell the house first, but we can determine that, well, here, walking in, we know most people aren't going to buy the house they walk into, right? So the second thing is find buyer leads, seller leads, because too often we forget about it. And by the way, how many buyers are sellers first? We don't need to go looking for buyers. If we get sellers, we'll find buyers, but people come into open houses as buyers when in reality they're sellers. And you actually had that happen this past.
I have.
Give us a short story on that one.
Okay, so I met a woman this weekend. She came to my open house and we ended up talking the whole time about her and her health. And she ends up telling me that she has a house that she needs to sell with her parents' house. They're both passed now. And she's been interviewing different agents and
Already talked to two.
already talked to two. One gentleman told her it was a tear down and the windows were horrible, so she was devastated. Emotionally, it really hurt her feelings, that he was bad mouthing the house already. And so now she's kind of on edge. She wants to keep interviewing agents, but is being very, very picky, obviously moving forward with who she picks to handle this transaction. Since it was her parents' house, there's an emotional attachment there that she's looking for with the agent who she chooses to sell the house.
So here's the neat part. It wraps up why we should be holding open houses. But when I get the leads, I want to establish an appointment for a job interview.
Yes.
Because do I care if they're a buyer or a seller, as long as they're going to buy or sell? It's about get the job interview. I want to interview for the job of helping you buy, or I want to help you sell, but I need to interview for that. And it's set that appointment. So that's something that will come as we continue to move forward. So let's go into this.
Can we tell the best part though?
Well, go ahead.
Save it.
No, well, you can go ahead, because
Okay.
now
Well, I'm
you
gonna bring-
dropped it on them.
I'm proud of it.
Oh.
So the listing that she held open was, our listing was only 650 and the lady was looking to downsize. But she's downsizing from probably almost a $2 million property. So she's potentially getting the opportunity to compete to list this home.
Correct.
So I just
So,
had to add that.
yes.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's a great situation, and I'll just throw this out. She actually asked, can she interview? And now it's establishing working to be able to get it coordinated between her two calendars. So, well, let's look at this. From an aspect of, I'm a newer agent. I don't have homes. I'm not a big lister. How can I, because I think, Tara, this was you about a year ago, and then you were holding houses open for Stephen and Sally, I know, and others, right?
Yeah, Lauren, I was doing open houses for Lauren as well. Yeah.
So how do I select an open house? What goes in, what makes a good house to hold open that will get me, because we're always talking, I want to get many guests in. What kind of things can we look for in your opinion?
Oh,
Well, I think any house is a good open.
that's
house.
exactly what I was gonna say too.
Um,
Any opportunity to be in front of
yeah.
people.
So this is the part where I'm very transparent, black and white, but if, in my opinion, if you're not holding open houses and you want more business, then you probably shouldn't be in real estate.
Right.
Because that is the key to jumpstarting your business, learning how to be a salesperson, with your interactions with the people that walk in, with your follow-up, everything. So
I'll gotta tell you, it's a key.
on-the-job training.
If you think Sally's gonna hold back, no, she's gonna punch you right between the eyes, okay? So, it's gonna come at you. Let me tell you, because I don't necessarily disagree. But what I'm looking at, I've written, by the way, I got a number of notes here, but I've written down a few things. One, if we could talk the ideal open house, let me first say this, plan in advance. This can't be gee, I got nothing on, maybe I should hold an open house this weekend. Plan in advance. Ideally, guys, if you're holding an open house, or let me take it back, you just took a new listing. As part of your marketing strategy, I would encourage you to put it in on Wednesday, coming soon. You're probably going to hold an open house Saturday or Sunday, and Lauren's sitting here because Lauren's a big producer and she holds or lists a lot of properties. So I love that you're doing this because it's given me, yes, this is what works. So I take the listing, we submit it to the MLS is coming soon on Wednesday. We'll hold an open house on Saturday and Sunday, which is if I start that and I'm holding between 1 and 3, that's when showings can start. So nothing happens until I start the open house. That's one of the best things that I can tell you, to be able to create traffic. Plan in advance, and especially if you're taking a new listing. And if you're a high producing agent, thank you for being with us today. I'll say it. I'm going to be like Sally. Use the agents, because you're probably too busy and you don't really need the leads. Use agents who want to hold open house and establish those leads, and then follow that process. There's somebody within our two companies, our two brands, that are willing to do that. I put down easy to find. The fewer signs that it takes to get to, the easier. Yet have lots of signs. If you're going to do open houses, do lots of them, and then invest in lots of signs. I would recommend that you have 10 to 12. If that gives you an idea of what I'm talking about. Most of you don't have that, but it's worth the time investment. You'll get more and more people in. High traffic volume, high demand, or a high demand neighborhood. Around here, we always talk, Warwick is one of those. And on the low end is,
Oakhurst.
gosh, Oakhurst. I said Warwick, that's Grand Blanc. And it doesn't, here, hold an open house, it's going to get you the type of leads that you want. If you want $400,000 buyers and sellers, go hold a $400,000 house open. Now, talking of price, Sally, is there any limit to what house you hold open?
No. No.
Because
I mean,
you've had, yeah, I mean, you've had experience with the high levels, and I'll let you take it.
No,
What
we hold
justifies
everything
that?
open, no matter what price point. We just listed a house last night. It's gonna be 220. We'll do open houses on that till it's sold, but we just had one this year for 1.75 million that sold, and we have that open almost every weekend. And I actually picked up $1 million buyer from that, as well as a $2 million buyer that we are now showing houses to. So, I mean, there's no limit to what, we're doing with that. And
that's one of the funny things I've heard so many people say over the time, that, well, you don't hold high priced homes open. That doesn't work. Doesn't work for those types of homes. you take one of those listings, I would ask these two, because I know Lauren, you've held those houses open too.
Tara.
Tara,
I've held Lauren,
Lauren.
so I hold all open houses open as well,
Yeah.
and no matter what the price point. It's just.
We plan at the beginning of the week,
Mhm.
so we'll all be walking around the office and, you know, we'll be saying, okay, who's available this weekend? Who wants to do open houses? Our admin has a handle on what's gonna be held open, and we find people to hold them open. I mean, this weekend, I think there was
There's a
like
lot.
10 in our
Yeah.
office,
There's
at
a lot.
least. I think we had 6 alone on with our listings. So, you know, everybody's doing them. Tara did 2 in one day.
Yeah, I've been doing
She
2
did
on
one
Saturday.
Sunday, right before a grad party. She was dressed and ready to go to the grad
Yep.
party. So I think if you know, and I relieved her at the end of the open house on Sunday for an hour in my golf clothes, which I never do, but I came straight off the golf course and got there at 1:15.
Yep.
Or no, yeah.
Yeah, it was
1:15.
1:15. Yeah.
And 5 more sets of couples came in and I picked up 3 buyers
Wow.
in 45 minutes.
And that was the day I had met that woman who
And that's-
walked in,
Mhm.
who has the 2 properties on Lake Angeles
Yep.
that she needs to sell.
So
And she
I-
needs to buy.
And she needs to buy.
So it's
Yeah, how many combined sales is that
Right.
potential?
the trifecta, you
it's kind of
know?
like going to the grocery store and you come home with nothing. Why would you ever do that?
Right.
That's what an open house is. If you don't come home with a buyer or a potential seller,
Yeah.
like I told Tara when she first started, if you're gonna take 3 hours away from your family, your household, chores, whatever you need to do on a weekend, you better come home with a buyer or seller.
And that's,
So-
that was one of the
Mhm.
best things you could have told me, because I see it differently now, like
Work,
work it.
yeah.
And do
And,
everything.
and Tara, you just did this
I did.
because it's the mindset.
It's the mindset, 100%.
Go in, not with, oh, let's see if I can sell a house. Wrong. It's, can I pick up buyers and sellers?
Yes.
It's the job interview. So before those individuals leave, I want to have a job interview established. Let me hit a couple other things that I hit, and then we'll move on to the next thought. Curb appeal, I can tell you out of experience, and this goes back to my Muskegon days about 36 years ago. I'm sitting in this house, beautiful inside. And I couldn't figure out why nobody was coming in, why nobody was here. It was a beautiful day, and I step up to the front of the house where I started watching people pull into the yard, and they would do this, and then they'd pull out. And then I realized the house was ugly on the outside. So they didn't even see, because this was back in the day, but they didn't see the interior house, especially if they're driving by signs, which a great deal of people, that's where they're coming from. They don't know what the inside looks like. So curb appeal was one of the others. And I always say, have a realistic competitive asking price. Don't have an overpriced turkey, which it's hard to have right now. But if you do, you stand to take other overpriced turkeys. Great, you'll have another listing, but a listing that won't sell. In the market shifting. You can see the market is shifting.
Yeah, we talked about
Well, how about this? What do you find the best day or time to hold open houses?
Any Saturday and Sunday.
Mhm.
Definitely till 3, because I find that most people come between 2 and 3. And I think most open house, when I see another competitor sign, or I see that they're only holding it open till 2 in the same neighborhood, I'm pumped. Because that means they're all coming to my open house from
Yep.
2 to 3.
Yep.
So I think you have to commit to that.
Yeah.
It's tough on sometimes, and we'll cut them short if we have to,
Yeah.
but if we don't have the manpower, but.
And with the size of our company, it might be a little bit different wherever you are. I know when I was back in Muskegon, it was Sundays. As a matter of fact, back in my travel days where I've been to 37 states teaching everybody else how to sell, it was common that it was hold them open on Sunday because that was the mindset of the community.
Right.
But if you're in the Metro Detroit area, Saturdays and Sundays are both times when people are ready for that. And we could talk about other opportunities to be able to hold these open, but we'll leave that for right now. So what about promoting an open house? What do you guys do?
We put it all over social media. We make videos.
Do you do live video? Is that,
I'm not, I've tried it. I know it's something I need to work on, and it is something I want to work on, with live videos. So Yeah.
So the videos you make, do you kind of like do it on the house?
Mhm.
So it's preset and then that's your marketing prior to, or do you do any while you're there?
No, mostly while I'm there. I
Okay.
don't know about you guys.
I do nothing other than put it on the MLS. I mean, I find that everybody pulls it up Zillow anyway,
True.
so
I told you she's gonna hit you right between the eyes.
just
I-
be there. That's all I
Guys,
can say, be there, do it.
I can't tell you that how easy it is that if you do some basic things. One, choose the open house, have it at the right day and time. Put it in the MLS, that'll shoot to a lot of other sources. I always have to look to my wife because she takes care of any of them whenever we might do an open house. But it's like, it's the social media, it's the signs that will get you there. But there's lots of things that we can do, and I'm just gonna, I kind of dropped it. Open house sign in front of the home you're holding open. You could do that a few days in advance if you have the chalkboard type or something you can put when it's going to be held open. You can
Used to
do that
Oh,
in front of the house.
We used to do
Okay.
that. We had a rider that went on there that said open Sunday 12 to 3. You can add those.
So we have a couple of them
I do.
that you can add the rider right on top of the sign, put the open house with the rider. That's a wonderful way to do it. And then I just put this, signs, signs, signs. I think we're finding that most are coming off of the internet, some type of exposure off the internet. But the second is signs, and on days, it's signs then the internet. So it's what's the well-chosen open house? How many signs do you have out there? Are you coming or leading them off of a couple of busy roads? Is it a high demand neighborhood? The feather signs. Anybody own feather signs that they put out? Great. See, if you're doing that, it's that much more attraction when you put those in front of the home because you got, what are those, 6, 7, 8 feet?
Huge.
they're huge and,
Yeah.
and people actually comment on how great they are and how easy it was to find. So it's worth the splurge if you can at least get one.
Mhm.
And it's really all the things that we're doing prior to.
Yeah, I think they're like $60 or something, but they're huge. You can't miss them. So
But if I sell let's go to the low side, $300,000 open house. How much do we get paid? Guys, it's worth the investment. I
worth the
have to
investment.
invest in my business.
yes.
Obviously, we talked, the MLS, Facebook, both organic and paid advertising is a good thing. Look at circle prospecting. I'm going to leave that for right now because we're going to talk about what can you do before the open house. But circle prospecting, you might have heard it 5, 5, 10 or 10, 10, 20. Going on 10 on either side to 20 across the street and just inviting them to the open house.
We
Okay.
do that.
We do.
If we have a high price listing, for sure, or in a neighborhood where we compete with a lot of other agents, I will give them a call and say, we're gonna have this open this weekend. You know, feel free to send your buyers, tell them to mention your name. And because a lot of agents travel on the weekends and they're not home. And so those of us that know each other in Clarkson area, we all honor each other. when it comes to
Move yours up a little closer, see if that'll do the trick. Well, let me hit this. You mentioned the video, Facebook Live. Go live. And this is all it is, guys. Don't overcomplicate what is simple. Take your phone, go on Facebook, press live, follow directions, and then talk. Take them on a tour. We've got these things that are just too simple that we don't do. And yet nobody else is doing it. It's what's going to separate you from your competition. Let's see, there was Sally, how many hours do you hold your open house?
3 hours minimum.
So 3 hours minimum, definitely a 1 to 3, maybe a 1 to 4, or you a 12 to 2.
Well, either 11 to 2 on the Saturday, which we do find people come out at 11 on a weekend. We had one, Stephen, a couple of weeks ago, and we were shocked. 3 people walked in like between 11 and 11:15. I was like, oh, okay. So, I mean, Saturday 11 to 2 or Saturday 12 to 3, Sunday 12 to 3 for sure.
Okay.
Or 11 to 2, 11 to 3 on
Yeah,
Sunday.
let's see. Do you think too many hours? Can we get too many hours to hold it open?
Who are they asking me?
Yeah.
And you too?
No.
No.
Well, there you go. I have a tendency to agree with that. If your time is tight or you want to enjoy the rest of your weekend or whatever day you're doing it, For me, like you said, it's between 2 and 3.
I guess I would have to ask back. If you pick up one buyer, that's $500,000, is that too many hours?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, you have to give yourself a day off during the week then, you know, like, so if you're working both Saturday and Sunday, that's what I tell these guys. Take Wednesday off all day. Don't take any calls, try to have a day to yourself
Mhm.
with your kids, whatever. So,
So, here's another one in regards to the open house signs. I can see that our Livonia group that's on is asking. Most municipalities will not allow you to put directional signs out, including open house directional signs, except for the day of. And normally that means during your open house. So you're gonna go out probably, I mean, depending upon how many signs you have, but if you're spreading them out, it might take you a half hour, 45 minutes to spread those signs. You're good with that. So, yeah, but the sign in front of the house, you shouldn't have problems with any municipality because is there a regulation as to how many signs you can put in front of the house? As last I knew, there wasn't. So we should be good with that. Let's go to the next part. Setup of the open house. So we're there. What are we looking for? What should we do with, lights, music? What are we doing once we get there? Because I know we can keep it really simple.
Mhm.
Just be there. But is there anything that you guys might do special inside the house once you get there? Hold that one more. One more. Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I know this is the exciting part, and it's a key, guys. It's going to be a really key. It's like kids in a candy shop. But I got a book. But do you do like lights?
Yeah.
What do we do with lights?
Turn them all on,
Blinds,
open them up.
drapes,
Everything.
Turn
Get
the air
everything.
conditioning Down.
turn the air
Turn the heat up.
conditioning down,
Or turn
meaning
the heat up.
Yeah.
make it cold, right?
Cold, make it warm, whatever.
Fire in a fireplace?
Make sure there's no filth on the floor. If you have to wash the floor, wash the floor. I've done that before.
We need to sweep
If you
up
have to
a little
sweep,
bit.
Sweep. If you have to vacuum, find a vacuum.
Yep.
Organized. And by the way, these are things that you could, well, here, I'll pick on Lauren because we've been talking about her. If Lauren didn't, she's a great listing agent, but she didn't do anything to help prepare the sellers for the open house. Listen, sometimes you have to do that. So there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, Lauren, would you mind if I go visit the house and, help the sellers prepare for the open house? If that need be done. There's nothing wrong with you going over and checking out what you're going to be holding open. Gosh, fire in a fireplace. Do you do that?
In the wintertime, yes.
Mhm.
If I can go,
Yep.
Yep.
I've held open houses because we got the natural gas, flick the switch.
Mhm.
Yes, I've got the air conditioner blasting and a fire in a fireplace. Because what we're trying to set is the mood in the house.
I put music on the TV usually.
What kind of music do you use?
Whatever channels they have, so. Or sports, if there's a sports
If there's
event
a
on.
sports game.
Hey,
yeah.
and- Hey, listen, I would be guilty if it's Sunday in the fall,
Yeah, no, that's.
the Lions are on.
Yeah,
Lions are on.
we didn't do open houses during the Lions.
And
No.
see, I used to do it during a Lions game, but I would get distracted. So you have to be careful. But yeah, that's one because people, if you're in a Detroit, here, we're in Michigan, everybody's a Lions fan. And if they're not, they just couldn't survive it any longer. But now we're back. No, we've arrived.
We don't do refreshments and snacks. Some people do. I guess my main focus is just to get to know the person when they walk in.
Yeah.
I do watch to make sure I see when somebody's coming so I can greet them at the door.
Mhm.
So.
I got to tell you, don't lose where we're at with what Sally just said. Your main focus is on,
The person walking through the door.
okay?
Mhm.
Because by the time they end, this is our objective. We have an appointment for a job interview. And that's that back to the change in the mindset. We've got to go in knowing why we're there and what's going to make it a profitable open house. It's establishing appointments for job interviews. So don't lose that. That means we got to focus on them. We hit air conditioning, financing options. You might want to have our mortgage partner there, see if they're available to be there with you. You can then promote that. they would be promoting it also because they don't want to sit there for 2 hours and have nothing come of it. There's even another one that tent cards. Highlight, we'll call maybe the features of the home, things that they may not otherwise see. Okay.
We have our folders. He's gonna grab.
Oh, great, great. We'll show a couple of things you're going to use while you're there. So here's I'm just going to drop. This is the controversial one that I always stir up. Whom do you represent?
Yeah.
So,
Can we skip that? part?
see,
Here we go.
so we're
really good
gonna
stuff.
cover this really quick. If it's your listing, you're there on behalf of the seller. The easiest way dealing with a settlement is that we designate, therefore, even the agent who's there substituting or holding it open also would be representing the seller. If you're in there for some other reason, some other way, because it's the way your manager is having you work it, I think we still owe it to the seller to try to sell the house first. Okay?
Absolutely.
But then we have to remember how we have to work it. And if we're doing this by settlement, and this is why we go, you might just as well designate, what should we be doing? Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer, you got to sign this contract before I can let you in the house. That's tough. Anyway, so with that said, guess what? What do we do to get the guests to sign in?
Easy.
Now it's
Easy.
time. Now it's time.
Yep.
Well, just like Sally, I like to meet them at the door, greet them. Those first 7 to 10 seconds are so crucial to make that connection with them. So I introduce myself, I guide them to all the information I have about the house, as well as my sign-in book. So while they're grabbing their pamphlet that I've made for them at the open house, I'm also asking them to sign in, and if you have an agent too, you can put your agent's name. Some have an agent, some are like, oh, what's my agent's name? You don't have any.
Honey, what's that
exactly.
guy's name? Yeah.
Yeah. So
He
I'm
ain't got no
taking mental
agent.
notes and kind of watching their cues and, how they're signing in, to just taking mental notes on cues like that.
What do you use to be able to get them to sign in?
That's this part.
Oh, that's this part. My
Well, you
favorite.
can make whatever you want.
Yeah, you can make
your
whatever
own
you
book.
want.
This is on Amazon. You
Mhm.
get 2 books for $10.
Yeah.
Open house guest registry is what it says, right? And then here, let me go a little bit closer for you guys. You can see if we can get it. You can see that it's just getting all of that basic information. And do they need to fill it all out?
Not
No.
necessarily. I mean, my line is, I say the seller asks that everyone sign in.
I use that too. I like that.
Does this one
Right.
come with a sign?
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Can you pull that out? I
Yeah.
think I saw you had
I
one.
did have it.
But I just say the seller requests everyone to sign in. No one really ever doesn't sign in. And I have
Like,
their
there it
name and
is.
phone number.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank
Please
you.
sign in.
Mhm.
Very easy.
There are others out there that I will tell you, and by the way, I say blame it on the seller, but does not our sellers want to know who's been coming through their house?
Mhm.
Okay, so truly we can say that the seller requests registration before you go through the home. Now, I'll add one that I know that when we hold it open, if it's an occupied property, we want them to sign basically by the front door.
Yep.
So if I can get it by the front door, or actually my wife, she's a lot better at this than I am. She'll do that. She'll get them signing in at the front door. Then there's all the information in on the kitchen table or dining room table that they can get. Laptop open, logged into the MLS. Because remember, we're going to ask a lot of questions to be able to find out what they need so that we can offer a solution or service that will get us the right to ask for that job interview. But we have to impress them enough that they want to say yes to that, and there's got to be value in whatever we offer. So guys, have a guest registry. Look, a piece of paper is better than nothing. But what we can definitely say out of experience is to have a book is much easier, and to have that sign even that says, and if you got to make one out of cardstock, says sellers, please, sellers request registration. And it's true. Okay, that'll make a big difference. Now, I don't know if I really prepared you guys for this one, but handling the guests. First one is if it's somebody, a couple by themselves, or if all of a sudden you get overloaded and you got multiple guests. How are you guys handling that?
Well, that happened to me Sunday when I relieved Tara because she had to head to a party. And I thought it was gonna be a piece of cake. I was just gonna sit there and have a couple people, and next thing you know, I had 3 sets of couples in the house. And it's a tiny house. And I was like, okay. So I got to know the first couple quick, but I carry my pad of paper like with me.
Yep.
And I take notes, Mary and John, you know, blah, 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 quick, quick, quick. Okay. Then I know that's them and I match them up with the registry. And then they go walking around, I give them their flyer, then I get to the next couple and I walk up, introduce myself, write their name down so that I know once I can match them up, I remember. Because you start forgetting, okay, which one was from Texas? Which one's moving from Waterford? Which
Yes.
one's moving from so-and-so? So I have this pad of paper with me the whole time during the open house and I'm constantly scribbling notes down about the people that have walked in. And then we also have our flyers that we make, which this is for an open house. Whipple Lake, Lakefront Ranch Home. We give these to each person that walks in. And it's not just the MLS sheet.
Wait a minute. But there's a
So-
large expense to that.
It is. It's part of my business expenses.
How much do you think you put together in there? I mean, it's an expense, but
It's $1 for a folder. I mean, you can decide if you want to use these folders, but we use the folders, we
Yeah.
buy them.
They're really nice.
We buy them from Century 21, Jeremy, actually.
Mhm.
Steven and I get 500 a year and we use these for our open houses, but that's just us. So you don't have to, but then they're walking out with my business card, our business card, our folder, all of our stuff. And then sometimes we'll make even a nicer, Lauren gave us these ideas of a bound, but this property was 1.2 million. So we actually did a little bit fancier thing. but-
I see, I'm loving it because guys, go visit open houses. Take this Saturday, this Sunday and go visit open houses. I will guarantee you, you will learn a lot. And a lot of it is what not to do. And what you'll learn is what nobody else is doing. And that's a perfect example in that simple folder with information regarding the house and a little bit about what you do to help buyers find homes and help sellers get their homes sold. Why wouldn't we do that? It's $1 investment.
Well, and when
Yeah,
they-
what's the impression made?
when they
Yeah.
work my open houses, I expect them to put my stuff away and use their stuff. It's,
Mhm.
they're running our open house. It's their client. They're gonna take
Yeah.
away from it. I'm not taking anything from it,
Yeah,
you know, so they use their stuff. Then when they leave, they put our stuff back on the counter.
I'm loving it.
Picture showings.
It reminds me of,
We're not taking questions from the crowd. I'm just kidding. Selma's over here. Yes. So how do we deal with the people that kind of ignore you? They're quiet, they don't talk. What do we do with them?
Well, you decide if you should, I guess, approach them because there's still safety things, right, in open houses. So you don't want to necessarily raise a red flag on somebody. I'm the first one to tell you that if you are uncomfortable, you just walk right outside.
Yep.
And make sure you don't, bring any personal belongings in the house. You just have your car keys and your phone but somebody like that probably is not somebody I would force to sign in.
Yeah.
If I've asked them a couple times and I'm not gonna force the issue. Thought I answered that question.
well, and it's nice too, like you're already reading their body language.
Mhm.
So just, that awareness alone is, they're putting off that, so maybe just kind of hold back a little bit and maybe it's for a good reason. Maybe you don't necessarily want to work with them,
Mhm.
Sometimes that's the only path, that's the only person walking.
Yeah, what if
Right,
that's the only
right, and I
person?
get that.
I would add this in, Selma, then, for the difficult individuals, those who
That's tricky.
don't necessarily want to communicate. One, Sally said it, do I really want to work with them? But I think I need to ask enough questions to find that out. So and again, closing is a process. It's not a point in time. Closing is asking questions, number one. I ask the questions to find out needs. What are they looking for? What do they need? What do they not even know that they need? Because, again, often these people are just in what I call the educational phase. They don't even know what they need yet. They don't even know they have problems. And look, if you find out they're just a nosy neighbor, well, okay, but nosy neighbors sell. Why are they there?
And
Right?
that's what a lot of the sellers say to us when we tell them that we do love to do open houses. They said, well, I don't want all my neighbors to come through. And I said, well, what if your neighbors have friends that might want to live by you,
Right.
or by
Yes,
them?
yeah.
So we just tell them that we welcome any and all people at the open houses. But if there is a difficult client, I mean, I will try to soften them up. It's not like I won't. I
Right.
will try to soften them up
Yeah.
with questions and you never know, they might end up turning into a great client. They
Yeah.
just maybe went to 2 other open houses and people were trying to talk to them there too.
Yeah.
So I think that's where you
Mhm.
have to decide if you're gonna be like those other 2 agents that maybe irritated them, or if you're gonna give them their space and just ask them motivating questions like if I'm holding an Oakhurst open house, I literally greet them at the door and say, welcome to Oakhurst. And then I say, how much do you know about Oakhurst? Would you like me to fill you in on some things about this neighborhood? So I'm not like zoning right in, like, do you like the house? What do you want to buy? What's your budget? I mean, I don't do any of that at all.
And here would be a clarification I would hit, because what we're really doing is non-threatening questions.
Yeah.
Yes. None.
When we have somebody who's a little bit standoffish, and by the way, engineers, they're the ones that do this with their cards. I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to hold them really close. Well, you've got to start with the non-threatening questions. And that's just their personality. If they're there as a couple, who is that engineer married to?
Mhm.
They'll talk up a storm, talk to the right person. So, probably the biggest thing I could give you on that, non-threatening questions.
I actually have a good story now that you reminded me, the couple we just wrote an offer for. It was the only couple that came to our Hawksmoor. We have a house on Heather Lake that day, and it was frustrating because Steven and I went together that day because it's a bigger home and we were working it together. 3 hours, one couple. So we're like, but they came in and they would not leave their phone number. But they were super friendly, talked to us. The dad came with them, his dad, and super friendly. And we tried a couple times. Oh, if you'd like to know the answer to that question, we're happy to ask the seller and call you if you don't mind signing in.
Love that.
They just wouldn't, but they were really nice and they said, nope, we have your information. They had my folder and they said, we'll give you a call. So off they went, but they were there a good 45 minutes. So then it was the end of the open house. It felt like kind of a bust of a day. But about 4 days later, my phone rang. And of course, as realtors, we answer every phone call, no matter who the call's from. And he said, hi, my name's Andrew. I met you at our open house, your open house on Heather Lake on Sunday. And I was like, whoa, this is the guy that wouldn't leave his phone number.
Mhm.
And he said, my wife and I really felt like we connected with you and Steven. We'd like to hire you as our buyer's agent.
Amazing.
And we just wrote an offer for them for 1.1 million, but we didn't get it. Sunday or Friday.
But we still have the buyer,
But we still have the buyer.
and
But
we
that's my
will.
point. Like, I didn't even get their phone number. I couldn't even follow up with them. I knew their name and I wasn't going to stalk them that way because that would have been a little tough. But, because they purposely didn't give us but we had their name. But that's the first time I've ever gotten hired like that.
I can
So-
think of one that I had back in my Muskegon days. And I held this one open house, which now I wouldn't hold, but I didn't know any better then. And it was a nice log house, brand new, out in the middle of nowhere, literally. It was not on a busy road. And anyway, I held it open. And one couple came through. And that was it. 3 years later, I got a call. 3 years later that said, Darwin, you may not remember us, but we came and visited you at this open house at that log house out in the middle of nowhere. And how could I not remember them at that point? It was the only people I ever saw. But that was a new listing for me 3 years later. So anything's possible. We just got to be in action.
Yeah, well, you have to be in sales mode.
Yeah.
The whole time you're at the open house. I mean, whether you're selling that house and trying to double dip if it's your own listing, or if it's somebody else's listing and you're trying to pick up like Tera, sold one of our condos. Have you just sold one of ours? But you picked up a lot of buyers. You've sold one of our condos.
The Troy one, I picked up the buyer from an open house.
And then, but you sold our list. Yeah, you sold that listing and you sold the condo in Clarkston from the open house. Oh, no, you wrote the offer and you got knocked out.
I did, the kickout clause, I got kicked out.
Got
Yes,
kicked
I
out.
did.
Sorry about
I got
that.
kicked out, yes.
But I think she also held open another property for us in April, maybe, Big Lake.
That was Big
And
Lake.
she met the wife of the couple.
Yep.
And she just closed on a $1.5 million property for them.
Yep, and was able to sell their house in Clarkson also.
Yeah,
I took both sides of that as well. So I listed it and sold it the same day, their property. But going back to them, when I met them at your open house, we did connect and she had texted me later on that afternoon and said, I really want to work with you. I felt like we really hit it off. So it was really great that that we reached out, we were in connection. When I took them to see, going back to how to prepare for an open house real fast, taking them to see a $1.5 million house, the agent had a piece of paper, and all you remember this because I brought it in the office. I was like, Sally would kill us if we did this. It was the MLS sheet of the house, $1.5 million, and it was all blurry. You couldn't read anything. And I was like,
that's it.
that's it? Like, I mean, and it was the house we ended up getting, but I was just
Wow.
making mental notes of,
So let me,
Not to
a
do.
question here that Sally, we want to bounce to, what kind of information are people looking for now? Oakhurst, you have to understand, is a little bit different than just your standard neighborhood.
right.
So in Oakhurst, what kind of information would you provide to them?
Well, that neighborhood that we happen to live in, so I knew the neighborhood very well. We knew the course. It's a private country club. People want, in this folder for that neighborhood, we would have had how to join the club.
It's a golf course community.
Anything and everything about the neighborhood / HOA that they might need to know. If it was a condo in there, what the requirements are, what the seller is responsible for, seller's responsible for, what the HOA, condo association pays for. The more information you give them in this, or whatever you're gonna do to present your listing, the better.
And other listings that are on the market in the neighborhood, what other homes have sold for. There's so much that you could do. What I would caution you on is don't give everything, because that may be the reason that you could now interview. Because if I say, how much do you know about the Oakhurst development? Well, really, we don't know much about it at all. With what you know right now, is it an area that you would say you would definitely want to be buying in? Yes. Well, are you familiar with the techniques that I use to help people buy their new homes at the lowest possible price? And what's the only answer to that? No, they don't know you. Well, then listen, why don't we do this? I don't mind. Let's get together. We just have to ask, okay? So let me throw this out very quickly, because again, I always say our first responsibility is to see whether or not the buyer wants to buy that home. So lots of ways to get to this. But if it doesn't come out, so what did you think of the home? What did you like most? What did you like least? Would you even consider this as your next home? No. Work on getting an appointment with that individual, okay? So what did you think of it? What did you like most? What did you like least? Would you even consider this as your next home? Obviously, there's lots of other questions you're going to ask just to be able to get to know those people a little bit more about what they're doing. Now, here's the last one that we've got for the day.
Okay.
And I think it's probably the most important, because guys, it's what we do before, what we do during, but most likely and most importantly is what we do after. So now the open house is all done. We've got all these names. We hopefully got appointments, but what do we do now?
I'm gonna let Tara tell you, but I just want to show you something. Let me see, well, that's a good example. So here she's got, and she's, can you see?
Oh, so you can see it's
So there's
reading.
3
Yep.
sign-ins there. Do you see the line crossed through it? So what did you do to get to that line? Like,
The
what did you have to
squiggly.
do? You had to decide if you had to call them
Yeah,
or follow up, right? I mean, you're just following up on everything.
I follow up on everything.
The next
If-
day.
If they write their agent's name in there, I don't
No,
touch that. But if they don't, or they can't remember their agent's name, I am reaching out. So Saturday, my Sunday nights are, I do my thank you cards, those go out Monday. And then I give it a few days, 7 to 10 days, and then I'll follow up with a phone call. That doesn't work, I'll try texting, because everybody's so different on how they communicate and want to be communicated to. So I just try to hit all areas. But the card has been, I think, what's worked best for me and helped me grow my business. Because like I said, I haven't even been doing this 2 years yet.
And it's a thank you card.
It's a thank you card. Just, hey, thanks for stopping by. Thanks, thanks for taking the time out of your day, stopping by. It was great to meet you, great chatting with you. Just
Just the
really,
people that left their address, right? Or do you look up their
yeah,
address?
I'll even look up their address. I don't, anything to get.
Wait a minute, how do you find her address?
In the MLS.
And
It's all right there.
it's all right
It's
there,
all
guys.
right
It's
there.
PRD Remind Plus, Remind Pro Tax, excuse me.
Yeah.
It's still part of the MLS, but all of our MLSs have the PRD.
Mhm.
Put in a name and see if it comes up.
Yep.
What you got, Selma? So let me,
I get that.
Selma said, is it creepy for you to do that? Only if you're Selma. No, I'm gonna say no. Now, are some people gonna think so?
Yes. Yep.
But how many people have you got who said, oh, I don't like her, she sent me too much stuff?
She found out my address right away. I didn't have any privacy.
Well, it's
That,
Well, that's okay.
that's
But remember, this is one where we have to watch our mindset. Too often we create scenarios that don't exist. So if we're worried about being creepy, guess what? You're probably creepy. Okay?
he's right.
I'm going to, here, many of you are uncomfortable asking questions because it's uncomfortable because you don't want people doing that to you. Well, guess what? They're going to pick up on that. But you should see my wife go because she's like, I'm sorry, honey, I'm picking on you, but hopefully she dropped off now. She's great to have around, but the salesman in me goes, okay, you talked and chatted enough and they love you. We've got to work on getting an appointment with them. Right? So I would ask, change your mindset, because if we're making it about us, we're probably being creepy. But if I truly have a spirit of a servant, I want to help. I'm the best person for you, because if you don't get me, you get creepy people.
And if you're not doing it, somebody else is going to do
Somebody
it.
else.
Somebody else is going to reach out, and why not be, you're just making another connection, another way to just trying to connect with them. And that's humanity, right? Like, we're all just trying to connect.
We call the next day. So like we take our book of all the people that were there and we call them and we get a hold of them or we text them and say, hey, well, both. If we can't get a hold of them, we leave a message and we call. And we continue to call until we get a hold of them. Now there was one that we thought we had for sure. This one guy came to an open house and he's like, yep, I love the house. He wanted to maybe put an offer on it, sell his house. We never could get a hold of him. Okay, so I gave up on him, but I probably tried for 2 months while I had that offer. So, if you continue to can't get a hold of somebody, then that's fine, you're done. But I mean, I just added up our pipeline of buyers right now from our open houses this year. And we have about $5.5 million in pipeline that we're helping right now. Buyers that will buy something. I don't know if it'll be this year, it'll be next year, and then we've closed right at $1 million this year from our open houses. So we're behind the 1 year, but the last story I want to tell really quick is a long time ago, probably 5 years ago. When you first got into real estate, Stephen, we did an open house in Oakhurst, and I've talked about this at the, what's the new agent thing called?
Yeah.
Yeah, the luxury thing. From one open house in 12 months, we closed $5.4 million in deals. From one open house, we met enough people that we connected with and sold that much from one open house. So
Incredible.
you just have to, and that was a long time ago.
So if we really summarize what to do after, follow up, follow up, follow up. Now, here's a great question. Again, if we understand our mentality, how do you put it? That if I'm going to give somebody 3 hours, by God, I better walk away with something.
Well, if you're gonna give up 3 hours with your family, right in the middle of a Saturday or middle of a Sunday, I mean, it's tough. It's not easy. Believe me, Chris complains all the time. We can't go golfing until 4, and I'm like, nope. And so, you know, he gets the drill, he knows the drill, but it's important to us to follow through for our clients too, our sellers. And but when we go list a house, we talk about our team that, hey, we've got a team of agents we trust in our office. They will also be working the open houses because I prep them ahead of time. That it won't always be us. I mean, we hope to, but we can't, like right now, we're gonna be carrying about 6 listings, and we have opportunities for everybody to hold open house.
So it's follow up, follow up, follow up. Remember that it's a process. Ask the questions to find a problem, offer the solution, and ask for the appointment. Okay? And it's all the way through, and it's not doing that once or twice or 3 times, but follow up until they say yes, or they go, leave me alone, you're creepy. And I'd be okay with that. Okay? I might have to change something, but that's a big key to the follow-up.
You know, you have this list of buyers, and when something comes up, we're immediately calling that person we talked to that wants a house.
Yeah,
You got to share,
absolutely.
just because I'm sure nobody heard that.
Yeah, so Stephen brought up that,
That's the biggest. way.
yeah, and that happened actually Sunday. You know,
So what is it he said you guys
he
do?
said we have a list of buyers that if we know what they want, so we're like Tara's the buyer that walked in, right? And I'm visiting with her, and she all of a sudden tells me she's looking for this, this, and this. This house doesn't check the boxes. Unfortunately, it's a beautiful home, but this is what I'm looking for. And I would say to Tara, I would say, well, if you wouldn't mind signing in, if they hadn't signed in with your name and phone number. I hear about things all the time, either off market or coming on. I can talk to the agents in the office, and I'm happy to let you know about something that might be coming up. Would that be all right with you?
I said
And if
the
they
same
say
stuff.
yes, then I say have them sign it. But you always have to ask for the business. You can't just say that and then not say, would that be all right with you? Or would you mind signing in so that I could contact you, or would that be okay?
One of those things in real estate is the law of reciprocity.
Mhm.
If you give me something, I'll give you something in return. I have something to give you, and in this case, for them to receive that, they've got to give you the contact
It's a
information.
great way to get people to sign in that are
Right.
off putting in first.
Steve is just saying it's a great way to be able to get people to sign
It
in.
is.
It's a, but again,
Mhm.
If something comes up, we're gonna call. right?
Yeah. yeah,
So that was actually last year, shame on me. We got busy in May, a year ago, and the Valentine's called us. He met us at an open house that we were having a tough time selling, and I think everybody in the office held this house open. But anyway, so we met him at the open house, and I did not follow up with him. We got busy. And I had a star next to his name in my book, but I did not follow up with him. Well, luckily, he called us and said, we met you at your open house on Oakhurst Ridge. And I was like, I pulled out my book, and I'm looking up his name. I'm like, how did I miss this guy? And sure enough, there he was, his name, phone number, address, everything. Email, star next to it that I was supposed to call him, and we ended up selling them a listing we had. So we double dipped a 1.28 million listing, and we listed their house for 635.
okay.
Sold it.
So guys, time for us to wrap up.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Oh.
What would you tell somebody? Final thought.
Just get out there and do the open houses. There's so many people to meet, and it's such a great way to build.
Pipeline.
Where were you? Where were you last year before you started here?
COVID.
Production,
Oh,
production. I almost blew it there.
Yeah. I know.
0.
0? Where are you at today?
Oh,
Yeah, what's your total for the year, 12 months?
oh gosh. Well, I think
Or even if you
That's
go
just from
since you've
open
been with us.
that's just from open houses.
3.8.
3.8 million for open houses.
In the last 12
In the last 12 months.
So she's gone from 0 a year ago to 3.8 million just off of open houses.
Yes.
And you're now around
What's your
almost
grand
5 million?
total?
Around 5 million.
That's $1.5 million. Sally, final thoughts?
Yeah.
Same,
Just
just,
get out
you know, this doesn't pertain to all realtors. I mean, this is only realtors who want to increase their business, are frustrated with their current business and they're not doing what they need to do, then you've got to look in the mirror and say, what am I not doing right? When it comes to getting my business going, it's either your sphere or it's open houses. And I'm going to tell you, that's all we do. We do mail out things, but if we are in a slump, I schedule out open houses the whole weekend and next thing you know, we're rolling.
You're rocking and rolling.
Yeah.
So guys, here's my final thoughts. Do open houses. If you want to increase your business, you want to do an additional $1 million, to me, it's easy.
Mhm.
Hold an open house once a week, just one, if that's all it's going to take, once a week, so that you do 4 in a month. Now, but Darwin, that's one of my days off. Well, it ain't no more. Because what's your day off getting you right now? Plan the day. Plan that that's the work day. Plan to take another day off. Okay? But whole open houses, watch your profitability go up because of the number of sales that you're going to do, but make sure you're going in with the right mindset and what you want to come out of it with, knowing what you need to do before, during, and after.
And they can call either one of us, any of you guys,
Absolutely.
for, advice or help, or if you want to stop by one of our open houses, see us in action, go ahead.
Absolutely. And I'm
Mhm.
fine if somebody wants to come to my open houses and watch how I do things.
Mhm.
Matter of fact, I would encourage everybody to go visit a bunch of open houses and find out where these two are going to be at this coming weekend. I'm assuming you're doing it this weekend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you?
Saturday
Yeah.
and Sunday.
So there you go. Find out where they're at. We're here in the Century 21 office in Clarkson. All you gotta do is Century 21 Professionals, Clarkson, phone number's popping up.
Yep.
With that, guys, we say, well done. Have a great week.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week. Plan at this point is risk reduction. And that's all encompassing. So join me next week. Have a great week, guys.